Hello everyone, today we are starting with the first chapter of Standard 9 NCERT economics book. In the first page, we get an overview of the village Palampur, like farming being its main activity, the well connectivity of the village, the demography and other types of economic activities that are conducted in the village. In the second page, we are studying about the organization of production, which are nothing but the factors of production. There are 4 factors of production: land, labor, physical capital and human capital. The first factor of production is land. It also involves other natural resources which are primary necessity in the production process. The second factor is labor, which involves the physical effort put by human beings. The third factor is physical capital, which includes fixed capital and working capital. Fixed capital includes tools and machines which are used for many years in the production process, whereas working capital includes money and raw material which is constantly required in every step of production process. Finally, the fourth factor is human capital, which refers to the knowledge, expertise and innovation of a human being utilized in the production process. Lastly, the factors of production also have their respective rewards. The reward of land is rent, labor is wage, physical capital is interest, and human capital is profit.
Let us study from page 3 and let us focus on ways to increase production. There are basically 2 ways, that is multiple cropping and green revolution. Let's start with multiple cropping. Here you can see that to grow more than one crop on a piece of land during the year is known as multiple cropping. In the picture, it is clear that wheat, bajra, sugarcane, potato are all grown in the same piece of land. What are the advantages? Variety of crop can be harvested, production is high, raises the net income of farmer, broadens the scope of land uses and farming diversity. Now, next is green revolution. Green revolution in the late 1960s introduced Indian farmer to cultivation of wheat and rice using HYV seeds. So these are some of the key points that you can take a screenshot of.
Hello everyone. In today's video, we're going to learn about how the land is distributed between the farmers of Palampur. Even if farming is the main activity in Palampur, the land is not evenly distributed among the villagers. Out of the 450 families that Palampur has, 150 of them are landless. The remaining 300 families have land. Out of this, 240 families have less than 2 hectares of land, and the remaining 60 families comprises of large farmers and medium farmers. They have more than 2 hectares of land, and in some cases they have more than 10 hectares of land. In this chart, we see that there are 80% of small farmers working in only 36% of cultivated area, whereas 20% of medium and large farmers work in 64% of cultivated area.
In today's video of 9th class NCERT series, we will study about who will provide the labor. After land, labor is the next necessary factor of production. We have small farmers, medium farmers and large farmers. Small farmers, along with their families, cultivate their own land. They provide the labor required for farming themselves. But medium and large farmers hire farm laborers. Farm laborers either come from landless families or those who are cultivating small plots of land. Farm laborers do not have the right over the crops grown on the land. Instead, they are paid wages either in the form of cash or kind. For example, crop. Wages vary according to crop, farm activities, etc. A farm laborer might be employed on a daily basis or for the whole year. In this given example of Palampur village, we notice that due to huge competition for work, people are working at wages which is lower than the minimum wages.
Hello everyone. In today's video, we're going to talk about the capital needed in farming. As we already know, capital are of 2 types, physical capital and human capital. In this video, we're going to discuss about the physical capital that is needed in farming. Now, the modern farming methods require a great deal of capital, which is why the farmers now need more money. Now, small farmers being poor, they borrow from money lenders and large farmers who provide them loan with a high rate of interest. Now, in case of medium and large farmers, they have their own savings through which they can arrange capital.
In today's video of 9th class economics series, we will study about sale of surplus farm products. Now, what do farmers do with the wheat that they produce? They retain a part of the wheat for their family's consumption and sell the surplus wheat. Now, what is surplus wheat? As you can see in this table, suppose production is 100 units and consumption is 40 units. Surplus is production minus consumption, that is 100 minus 40, which is 60 units. Now, usually, small farmers have little surplus because the total production is small and from this a substantial share is kept for their own family needs. But in case of medium farmers, the production is large, and in case of large farmers also the production is more. So they sell the surplus wheat in the market. Now, what do farmers do with the earnings from the surplus wheat? So they save the money in the bank account and later use the saving to lend loans to small farmers. Otherwise, they buy capital for the next year or other inputs that is needed for farming activities.
Palampur is a village where both farming and non-farming activities take place. While 75% of the people are engaged in farming activities, only a mere 25% are engaged in non-farming activities. One of the many non-farming activities are dairy. Here, dairy is a common activity in many families of Palampur. People feed their buffaloes and various kinds of grass and the jawar and bajra that grows during the rainy season. Then what happens is the milk is sold to another village called Raiganj. It's a nearby village, and two traders from Shahpur town have set up collection cum chilling centers at Raiganj where the milk is transported to faraway towns and cities. So from here we see that dairy is one of the most common activities and non-farm activities in Palampur.
In the previous video, we have discussed about one non-farm activity in Palampur. Today we will discuss about another non-farm activity, which is small-scale manufacturing. Less than 50 people are engaged in manufacturing in Palampur. Manufacturing in Palampur involves very simple production methods and are done on a small scale, unlike manufacturing that takes place in the big factories in the cities. So manufacturing in Palampur are carried mostly at home or in the fields with the help of family laborers. So basically, laborers are not hired or they are rarely hired. Here we have an example of the same. Mistry has purchased a mechanical sugarcane crushing machine which is run on electricity. So what he does with the machine is that he buys sugarcane from other farmers and processes it into jaggery. Then the jaggery is then sold to the traders at Shahpur. So in this process, Mistry makes a small profit. So this is an example of small scale manufacturing.
In today's video, we're going to talk about yet another non-farm activity that takes place in village Palampur, that is shopkeeping. In Palampur, traders are the shopkeepers who buy various goods from the wholesale markets in the cities and then they sell them in the village. Those items include rice, wheat, sugar, tea, oil, etc.
Today we will read about another non-farm activity which is a very fast developing sector in Palampur, and that is transport. There are a variety of vehicles on the road connecting Palampur to Raiganj. Rickshawalas, tongawalas, jeep tractor are people in the transport services. They ferry people and goods from one place to another and return get paid for it. The number of people that are involved in transport has grown over the last several years, and the reason is due to low wages in agricultural sector. People are engaged in non-farm activities and transport is one among them. Now this is the example of the same. Kisora is a farm laborer. Due to low wage in the agriculture sector, what she did is she took loan from a bank under a government program and bought buffalo with the money. He then attached a wooden cart to his buffalo and used it as a transport item, and as a result got good amount for the same. So with this we completed the first chapter of 9th class economics.